With the completion of my final tower in Obby Creator, it's time to start making plans for the Roblox studio SMToH. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you everything I have planned and answering some of your questions like, will I still be making building videos, what size will the towers be, and will there be a ring select? First of all, why have I decided to move to Roblox Studio? Well, it's because after spending over 3 years building towers and improving my building skills, I feel like I'm ready to make a JTOH fan game as a larger project. I'm looking forward to it. Let's start with the creation of the game. I created it under my Roblox group, Roro Studios Fan Club. Here's the first ever screenshot of the game, which I took in studio right after I created it. Yeah, a base plate. What did you expect? This is the game's starting place. First, let me clarify what a place is in case you don't know. It's just a server or game, especially as it relates to like a sub-game of a game. In JTOH, the ring select is a place, ring 1 is another, ring 2 is another, zone 1 is another, etc. A game's starting place is the place you go to when you press play on the game page. For JTOH, that's the ring select. For SMToH, that's also going to be a ring select. But for now, it's just a base plate with a sign and a temporary teleporter to another place, Tower of the Planets. TOTP is just a tower kit at the moment though. Similar to how SMToH was built in Obby Creator, there will be a main ring for each ring where you'll find most of its towers, and then there will be the Citadel and Soul Crushing, each separate from the main rings. But instead of accomplishing that with a different Obby slot like I did in Obby Creator, it'll be located in its own place. That also makes it make sense for each of these to have their own win room like in JTOH, but also its own lobby like in Obby Creator SMToH. Tower sizes. There was a point where I was considering making the studio SMToH be mostly or only full-size towers, 100 by 100 with 10 floors, but I sort of feel like that wouldn't make a lot of sense considering it's called Shark's Mini Towers of Heck. So here's how this is going to work. As I said a moment ago, most of each ring's towers will be built in the main ring. The main ring towers will mostly or entirely be mini towers, 30 by 30 with 8 floors, but it's also possible I'll build some with slightly different sizes. For example, I may build a tower that's 40 by 40 with 10 floors, or perhaps a steeple that's 25 by 25 with 4 floors, but still, they'll always be smaller than a full-size tower. So rings 1 through 3 of SMToH and their Citadels and Soul Crushings were built in Obby Creator, and so was the main ring 4, but not its Citadel or Soul Crushing. Will I be moving my towers from Obby Creator to Studio? No. Mostly. I remember back when I made the first 20 Obby Creator update ideas video, I suggested the idea of being able to export something from Obby Creator as a model. One of the comments on that video said, exporting a model is hard to implement, but possible. Mario did state he will work on it sometime. This was over a year ago and it still isn't a thing, but if it's ever added, I'll probably do this. I'll export each tower as its own model, mini towers, Citadels, and Soul Crushings, just so I can have them, but most of them I won't add to the studio SMToH. I say most of them because I'll probably use some of them for tower crossings and like in Citadel of the Infinite Abyss where you see older towers destroyed. I do actually have something like that planned for Citadel of Leon Laboratories, but it will be more of just a decoration thing, kind of like it was on COTIA Floor 3. You won't actually go to that tower. I could probably make it work to put only the frame rather than meticulously placing all the platforms exactly as they were in Obby Creator. But in a situation where I actually would need to do that, such as for a tower crossing, it would probably be for a Ring 1 tower, which would be easier because it uses significantly less parts than the towers in Rings 2, 3, and 4. But without any of the towers from Obby Creator and Roblox Studio, how would this affect the SMToH storyline? Well, the storyline of the studio SMToH is going to begin with Citadel of Leon Laboratories, the Ring 4 Citadel, but I'll include sort of a prologue kind of thing that sums up what happens in Rings 1 through 3. Isn't that, like, a thing? To begin telling a story not at the start? You know, like how the first Star Wars movie they made was Episode 4. The Rings 1 through 3 of SMToH are less of a prequel to Rings 4 through 8 as Star Wars Episodes 1 through 3 is to Episodes 4 through 6. At the very least, Citadel of Leon Laboratories will have a lot of lore, so most of the SMToH storyline will in fact be in the studio SMToH. Unlocking rings. In JTOH, you must complete a certain number of towers and stuff to unlock the next ring or zone. I'm going to do something similar in SMToH. When you join the game for the first time, you'll have access to the Ring 4 Citadel and Soul Crushing, and you can quickly unlock Ring 5 by reading Citadel of Leon Laboratories' Citadel Summary, which I'll talk about later. To unlock Ring 6, though, you'll need to complete a certain number of towers or whatever I decide to make the requirements be. But no requirement to unlock a ring will ever be completing the previous ring's Citadel, and that's because of the Citadel's difficulties. Every Citadel is going to be intense difficulty or higher, so chances are if I did that, only a small percentage of players would actually complete each Citadel to go to the next ring. But since important storyline related things are in each Citadel, what will I do so that the subsequent rings make sense? The answer is Citadel Summaries. While you won't have to complete a ring's Citadel to access the next ring, you will have to find it wherever it is in its ring's lobby and read its Citadel Summary. Well, I mean, technically you could just click through it and not actually read it, but I mean, you'd be pretty confused about the next ring if you did that. Basically, once you find a Citadel, you'll be able to read its Citadel Summary, which will summarize everything that happens in the Citadel related to the story of SMToH. However, that obviously includes spoilers for it, so you don't have to read it if you want to experience the Citadel and its story yourself. Of course, you can still play the Citadel even if you've read its summary. Earlier, I said you'd have to find the Citadel as one of the requirements for unlocking the next ring. Well, what I mean by that is basically what it sounds like. I'll hide the Citadel and soul-crushing tower portals somewhere in each ring, which will take you to that tower's separate place. Going to a tower's place unlocks it, meaning you can read its summary, if it's a Citadel, as well as teleport directly to that place from the ring select. So to summarize how progressing through the rings will work, the first time you ever join the game, you'll already have unlocked Tower of the Planets and Citadel of Leon Laboratories, and to unlock Ring 5, you must read COLL's Citadel Summary, or complete the Citadel. Yeah, if you complete the Citadel, you don't have to read its summary to unlock the next ring, unless you just want to. Now you've unlocked the main Ring 5, and to unlock its Citadel and Soul Crushing, you have to find each one's portal in the Ring 5 lobby and teleport to its place. Now to get to that tower, you can teleport directly to its place from the ring select, or you can still go to its portal again if you want. To unlock Ring 6, you'll have to meet these requirements. Whatever I decide along the lines of complete this many towers, complete a difficult plus tower, etc., as well as read the COLL summary and or complete COLL testing mode. In Obby Creator, I know you guys liked to play the towers I built as I released each video, even if the tower wasn't finished yet. To do that in the studio SMToH, towers under construction will be in a testing mode, in which you can play what's in the tower so far, and you'll have no clip and other testing tools. Around the time I post each SMToH building video, I'll update the SMToH game, so that if you go to that tower, you'll see what I built in the video. Now, of course, remember that this is a testing the tower, so it's unfinished, and there will probably be bugs, especially on towers where I'll script a lot of custom client objects. I may also include a feedback thing where players can offer suggestions or report bugs that they find within the game. Similar to testing mode, SMToH will also have a practice mode. It'll basically be a testing mode, but for finished towers. When you enter practice mode, you'll be given the testing tools like NoClip, and you'll be able to freely practice a tower, but you won't get anything for reaching the win pad. I'll probably just have the win pad teleport you back to the lobby or something, or just straight up not do anything, because I want players to only see the win room if they actually complete the tower legitimately. Practice mode will definitely be available for the larger towers, Citadels, and Soul Crushings, but I'm not sure if it will be for many towers yet. SMToH OST. The name of this chapter is entirely acronyms. A few of the Obby Creator SMToH towers had their own OST, which stands for Original Soundtrack. Not that you can even hear them anyway, because audio update, but because I have edit permissions on the studio SMToH, because I'm the one making it, I'll be able to make an OST for it, and you'll actually be able to hear it. But there's still a problem, and that's that I'll be building the towers faster than I'll be composing the music. I think the best thing to do about this is maybe use the Roblox audio music as like temporary music. The APM songs on the Roblox audio library, also known as the licensed music, are allowed to be used within Roblox games as well as YouTube videos, so long as said YouTube videos are about a Roblox game, i.e. you can't use the songs in, say, a 40-minute documentary on the art of underwater basket weaving. So people making videos on SMToH can include the background music, whether it's the OST or a temporary song. What I said in this video on Roro Studios music is that if you use one of my songs, please credit me. I don't really need a specific way of crediting, so just putting in the description something like music by Roro Studios is good. If you make a video about SMToH that uses a song from the OST, either credit me in the same way and or include a link to the SMToH game on Roblox. I'll still try not to have the OST progress be too far behind the building progress though, and I'll be sure to post the OST videos on the Roro Studios music channel as well. Replayability/challenges. Before monthly challenges were added to JTOH, there was almost no point in replaying a tower you've already completed. I mean, they're called weekly challenges now, because they're weekly now, but still, they give you a reason to replay a tower. There are other reasons for replayability that have been added to JTOH over time, but challenges is still the main one, in my opinion. SMToH will also have challenges, but they'll work differently. No challenge will have a limited time for you to complete it, but you have to unlock a challenge in order to complete it. Perhaps you'll unlock more challenges for various things you can do throughout the game, whether that be finding a secret in a lobby, reaching the next ring, etc. You'll be able to view all your challenges in a dedicated challenges tab or something. Given that only a small group of people will be working on this game, I think the system would work much better because we won't have to make as many challenges all the time, and those that we do make, we'll be sure it'll be worth the time we spent on it because it will stay in the game. Although some challenges may be removed as new and better ones are added. Some challenges will include modifiers to a tower, such as complete some tower with increased walk speed, which you cannot attempt until you've unlocked that challenge. Other challenges may not include modifiers, such as complete some tower in less than some amount of time. These challenges you can technically attempt without unlocking them, and in fact, if you complete it, you won't have to complete it again when you unlock the challenge to get the reward. However, you cannot claim the reward until you unlock the challenge, i.e. if you complete a challenge before unlocking it, you have to unlock the challenge to be able to claim the reward. The reward for completing a challenge will be coins or tickets or something that you can spend on stuff in the game, like cosmetics and items, just like in JTOH. The harder the challenge, the greater the reward. Items. So yes, SMToH will have items like JTOH. Me personally, I don't like to use items in my runs in JTOH, but I know most people do, so I think it makes sense to include them in SMToH. Some items will be unlockable by purchasing them with in-game currency earned by completing challenges and maybe other stuff, who knows. Other items will be available for Robux as game passes. I'm not sure what items those will be yet though. At least one of them will definitely be a healing item though. There will also be some cosmetic items like trails or something available for Robux. Let me know of any suggestions you have for stuff in the Robux shop. Staff. Only a few people will work on this game, mostly myself and my sister. I've written out some jobs each of us will have. There's not much to say about this, but as it says here, I will be the scripter. I used to be pretty good at programming stuff in Roblox, but then I stopped and forgot a lot of stuff. But I did pick it back up pretty quickly when I made Island of the Forsaken Towers because I needed to script some things for them to work properly. So yeah, my building videos will begin to have some scripting stuff as well, which is pretty cool. And you'll get to watch me relearn how to code things, and probably lose my mind trying to figure out how the camera scripts in the JTOH tower kit work so I can make a 2D section or something. Community submitted towers. I'm excited to announce that the studio SMToH will have community submitted towers. I still haven't fully decided how it's going to work, but it will probably be pretty similar to JTOH's system, in which you submit a tower on the Discord server and it gets reviewed. Therefore, I will make a Discord server soon, not just for SMToH, but for all things Roro Studios. While I haven't fully decided the tower submission rules yet, if you're interested in submitting a tower, here's the most important of what will be the official rules. 1. Use the JTOH tower kit. 2. The same rules as for JTOH, including but not limited to no using scripts to make custom client objects, nothing inappropriate, no advertising, unless it's Roro Studios, nothing that breaks Roblox's terms of service. 3. The tower must be a mini tower. The frame size must be 30 by 30 and 8 floors. 4. The tower must use 1,000 parts or less. I've checked that this number is good. My mini towers from Obby Creator used about 300 to 800 parts each. But if that number ends up being too little, I can always change it, but for now, 1,000 parts is the limit. No more part limit / how many towers per ring. The main rings for rings 1 and 2 in Obby Creator each had like 10 towers. Ring 3 had 6 and a steeple. Ring 4 had 5. This is because as I improved the quality of the towers, they began to use more parts each. Luckily, I won't have to worry about part limit in Roblox Studio. That being said, optimization becomes more difficult when a ring has like tens of thousands of parts. While I don't expect that to be too much of an issue, it's the reason I'm limiting community submitted towers to 1,000 parts. For now, that, like I said, that might change. In addition, the fact that there's no part limit means there can be a lot more towers per ring. JTOH rings and zones typically have about 10 to 15 full-size towers with a part limit of 5,000 parts max per tower. According to my super complicated mathematical analysis, this means that it makes sense for there to be 50 to 75 1,000 part mini towers per SMToH ring, not including the Citadel or Soul Crushing since those will be built on their own place. 50 to 75 seems like way too much though, and probably is overshooting it because that number is derived from assuming every JTOH tower uses all 5,000 parts, which of course isn't true. Most use less. 20 to 30 towers per ring should work much better from both a gameplay standpoint, it won't be way too many towers to play in a given ring, and an optimization standpoint. This amount of towers should run well on most devices and shouldn't lag. Although I'll probably still make some sort of low detail mode thing. That pretty much sums up everything I wanted to talk about today, but before I end the video, I will answer some of you guys' questions, most of which were from this community post. You need to name it Shark's Towers, assuming you'll be making full-size towers. Well, no, since I'm not making full-size towers except for the Citadels and Soul Crushings. Is the Intense Tower you are submitting going to be part of the SMToH ring? Alright, so let me explain this one. I've mentioned in like a stream or something that in ring 5 of SMToH, the Soul Crushing Tower will work a little bit differently. It's actually going to be built in the main ring and will probably be 40 by 40 with 10 floors, so longer than a mini tower but shorter than a full-size tower. Taking its place as ring 5's full-size tower that's built in its own place will be an Intense Tower that I'll also submit to JTOH. So yes, it will be part of the SMToH ring, and by the way, ring 5's Citadel will be built as normal. Will you still be making videos in Obby Creator? Yes. From now on, most of my Obby Creator videos will be requested obbies, like the reply to this comment says, but I may do other stuff sometimes too, such as myth busting like from this video. Let me know if you have any non-requested obbies video ideas for Obby Creator. Will there be a ring select, even if it isn't like the one in JTOH? Yes. Currently though, what will become the ring select is a base plate with a teleporter, but when it's built it'll be similar to the one from JTOH, but not exactly the same. Will the towers still be made with the old format? 8 floors and 40 by 40 I believe. Well, like the reply says, it's 30 by 30 and 8 floors. But yes, mostly. A few of them might have slightly different dimensions though. What are the plans for Ring 5? After Tower of the Planets and Citadel of Leon Laboratories are finished, I'll begin working on Ring 5. It's pretty much what I've been explaining SMToH will be like this entire video, relating to main rings, Citadels, and Soul Crushings and stuff. But with the exception regarding its Soul Crushing Tower being in the main ring and a full-size Intense Tower that I'll also be submitting to JTOH taking its place. Will it have a ring select? Yes. Will you port your Obby Creator towers to it? A few, but mostly no. And those that I do will be for tower crossings and stuff. Will the dimensions of the towers be the same? Yes, mostly. Are you going to make Requested Obby 17 or playing Requested Towers in Tower Creator? Are you going to stop the requested blank things? Requested Obbies will continue, so episodes 17 and on will be made. If you guys want, I could also do Requested Towers in Tower Creator. Let me know. Are you going to just transform them into the curating of the SMToH tower submissions? My reply to this comment states that this question does give me the idea for a similar series to Requested Obbies like the question describes. Now that I've better decided how tower submissions will work, maybe what I can do is make a video where I play all the tower submissions and will announce which ones will be added to SMToH. So even if your tower isn't added, you'll know I at least played it. But we'll see how these videos go. It'll depend a lot on how many towers you guys submit. This comment isn't really a question, but it reads, you haven't finished that steeple and the others where you're supposed to stop time. During the Playing Obby Creator for 12 hours straight video, I began to work on Subrealm of Endurance, inspired by the challenge itself, which would feature 3 long steeples themed about time, and the Test of Endurance, which would basically be a tower rush, where you have to complete all 3 steeples in one run. During the challenge, I only got about halfway finished with the first steeple, in which you stop time. I was thinking about finishing it in Obby Creator, but I decided it would make more sense to build towers that the whole point is that they're long in Roblox Studio, where I don't have to worry about part limit. While that will mean I lose the part of the first steeple that I already built, I kinda want to restart it anyway, since it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that half the steeple only takes like 5 minutes to complete. In the Studio SMToH, it'll still be a sub-realm, but I'm not sure of what ring. Probably ring 5 or 6 though. And I'll also be building a few other sub-realms, which answers this question from the group wall of my Roblox group, which you should join, by the way, link in the description. If you ever make a Discord server, would we be able to submit towers on the Studio SMToH? Yes, I'll make a Discord server soon, and that's how you'll submit towers, similar to the JTOH tower submission system. I'll end this video by stating my long-term plans for the game. SMToH will have 8 total rings, and my goal is to have everything finished by around summer of 2026. That's 2.5 more years. After that time, though, I'll still occasionally update the game to do things like adding more challenges and fixing bugs. But that's going to conclude today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you did. Next Saturday, I'll be posting the first Studio SMToH building video, in which I'll build floor 1 of Tower of the Planets, Ring 4's Soul Crushing Tower. Around the time I post that video, I'll make the SMToH game public, and you can play what I have so far. And so with that, I'll see you in the next video, and have a great day.